Ahoy, Skallywag's! Hey, Matt here at Marine Tech in Anacortes, and we were just in the lab with students playing around, and we were testing, pressure testing coolers, and we were like, hey, you know what? We've got a good tech tip. So Mike went and grabbed the camera. We've got a three-minute tech tip for you. It is tech tip number 31: pressure testing coolers or heat exchangers or anything in our raw water system. So. First of all, why do we actually pressure test coolers? So here I have a little gear oil cooler. Looks like by the paint job, probably taken off a Yanmar at some point. Over the years, if we're not keeping up on our service or pulling these off for regular cleaning and testing due to galvanic interactions, we can get pitting and holes that essentially ruin our isolation between the oil side of the cooler and the raw water side of the cooler. This is no bueno, not good at all. And in the case of a gear oil cooler, what it will result in is we get seawater into our transmission and our transmission oil out into the sea. Because many boat owners don't ever even check their transmission oil, they usually don't know that this has been happening until the thing seizes up or totally fails, and our technicians get to go actually change the transmission. Nice big job. So number one, always check your oil. If you see it emulsified, you would know, hey, I'm somehow getting water into that transmission. Most likely candidate in this case is the gear oil cooler. Same could be for your heat exchanger on your engine oil cooler, any other type of cooler. So what we do to check them out, to confirm if they're good or bad, is pull them off the boat and then we pressure test them. If we can put air pressure into one side, either the raw water or the oil side, and have it hold pressure without any leakage, we know that we have a good solid isolation between the two parts of the circuit. So in the case of this one, two ways to go about it. One, professional way, if you have the fittings, would be to go to the oil side. Here we have just NPT fittings. You could put a plug in one of them, and then you could do a little air chuck like this into a bushing and put that in the other. And then we could take some regulated shop air, put it into the oil side, and see if we're getting any air leakage out of the raw water side. Cool, works great, but you might not always have the right fittings, plain and simple. So here's the real poor guy's version, and this is the tech tip number 31, the bicycle inner tube. It is not glamorous, it is not glorious, but it is effective. Just get yourself a cheap bicycle inner tube, put some hose clamps on there. To be honest, we're not even worried if this is a perfect connection, because what we're going to do is just pump up the tire and then submerge the thing into water. If we see air coming out of that hole or that hole, that means we have pinholes in the cooler core, in the tubes running inside of it, and it's a fail. Garbage. Start over. So I'll just show you. We have an old sketchy looking cooler we found out back, and I think this thing's leaking a little bit from one of the fittings here. But with your little bike pump, you can just pump her up. And I hear air whistling, actually pretty good. I'm not sure where it's coming. Oh, it doesn't sound good. Okay, that is a failed cooler. So we get things, let's check again. You can see. Yeah, let me check. I'm definitely losing out of that fitting. Maybe it is just that fitting. One sec. Actually, holes do look clear.
Okay, that sometimes happens. We didn't quite catch it on video, but the inner tube was leaking on the edge. The actual cooler, the two holes in the oil side, were totally fine. So this did pass the test using the inexpensive way to just grab a bicycle inner tube and do a quick test on your oil coolers.
So I told you, it was kind of the backwoods tech tip there, but in a pinch, that's a really nice way to test a cooler. And you can stretch a bicycle tube over quite a few different sizes. Professionally, you'd have a kit more like this one here, where we have essentially matching pairs of various hose sizes. One's a dead end plug and one's an air fitting that we can connect again to a little regulated air source. Chunks of hoses, so with a big after cooler or something like that, you pull it apart, clean it all up, put it back together with new O-rings, put the end caps on, and then connect it to something like this, test it, confirm that it's all good. How often should we be pressure testing these coolers? We like to say pretty much every 4 or 5 years, you are stripping your entire raw water cooling system down, draining the coolant on the engine, replacing if necessary, testing all your coolers, giving all your coolers a nice acid bath. So, acetic acid or muriatic acid or whatever, to get all that scale and crap out, clean the junk out of them, replace the soft parts, check every clamp in the system. Not a tiny service, it's a big service, expensive for boat owners, but way, way cheaper than paying for brand new after coolers and gear and transmissions and things like that. So anyways, that's it. Tech tip 31. See you guys next time.